Welcome back to Vidhammer, sending along another Gloomhaven playthrough, and this one, Vimm and Spud are going towards their retirement goals, still trying to work towards their retirement goals. Since the last mission that was done was the third crypt mission, Spud can start his mission line to try to get to his retirement for the Seeker of Xorn. So they're going to go through mission number 52, which is the Noxious Cellar. For this scenario, the players have to act completely independently of each other and work through different branches of this dungeon. So we have Vimm start off on the branch to the right because there's different monsters over there that he can kill, which he needs for his retirement goal as well. So hopefully this will help them both out in that regard. The objective for it is that each person, each player character has to loot a treasure at the end of their little branch. So they're going to be using some jump maneuvers and stuff, since they both have some good jump moves and long moves, to try to get to the back and loot that treasure first to make sure that they'll get credit for the actual victory of the scenario. And then once they've got that in hand, try to buy time so that Vimm can get some more different kill types for his long-term goal. The scenario links to Gloomhaven, so there's not a road encounter, but for the city encounter, they get woken up at night and they can either go help and fight off whatever's going on because the city alarms are going off, or they could use the opportunity to try to steal some stuff. So they go the good route and end up gaining a prosperity for it, so that's nice. And yeah, we go into things, and this is kind of how it plays out. The very first thing that I do with both the characters is do like a big jump past as many of the enemies as possible. There's a living corpse that starts in the beginning of each room, so that can get them past it, and the living corpse is really slow, so that's not a problem. The difficulty is the only jump card that Vimm has is a burn card, so he's got to use that on the very first turn. But along with his boots, it gets him like almost halfway there. So after that, we do take some damage and stuff, and going into the second turn, Vimm gets pretty much surrounded by a whole bunch of guys. But he has his card which allows him to destroy an adjacent obstacle, which that becomes his way out. So I have him smash the obstacle and then move around the side of the guys that are there. He does end up taking a good amount of damage in that and in the following turn as well, as they start to catch up with him. Spud on the other side goes over, uses his winged boots along with his big movement card, like move 6, moves over there, and then the next turn I just have him go ahead and turn invisible so he can take a long rest while invisible and get his boots and stuff back and be able to use them on the next turn. They both kind of get surrounded by some stuff. Vimm takes a little bit of damage, but ends up ending his like third turn on the chest, ready to get through stuff. So even if he takes a lot of damage, he's got a significant number of cards to discard so he can get through it. So pretty much the first half of everything that goes on, and they're already both in very good shape for finishing this thing off. In the second half of stuff, I'm really trying to get a few extra kills for Vimm. So even though I have him stand there and discard a card to loot the chest and everything, so at least he's got his goal done, even if he gets swamped and attacked a bunch and is exhausted, he still will still be able to finish the scenario. And he does take a couple of big hits. He ends up having to discard a card just because he gets hit by it ×2. But he's still holding in there. He's gotten a little bit of damage down. He does take out one of the Vermling scouts. And then Spud on the other side, up there, I don't want him to loot the chest like immediately because I want him I want Vimm to have some time to try to kill off that spitting drake if possible. But the ooze that's out there, he does some damage to it and stuff, and kind of goes back and forth, goes invisible a little bit more. Vimm the entire time trying to do damage to the spitting drake, but it's got the range and it's just hiding behind the Vermling scouts. And even with some big attacks, Vimm isn't able to do enough damage to kill the darn thing. And Spud's over there doing some poison and some stun effects on the other guys to make it so that he's not taking too much damage. occasionally going, invisible again to try to buy a little more time and taking long rests to try to get Vimm the time necessary to do some stuff. And Vimm does a lot of damage on the other side, but it's just so many cards have to be discarded to keep him from dying because he gets down to 1 health and he can't take a long rest to get things back and get his heal cards back, which he's already spent. He just ends up getting exhausted, and then after that, Spud goes over and I think kills off the ooze, but then goes over and just tags the chest at the end to get the victory for the group. So it is a success. They do get it. Vimm ends up getting 1 kill in a Vermling Scout, 1 more monster kill in the Vermling Scout. And that's about it. They don't pick up very much money at all. I actually forgot to draw the short-term goals for both of them. But at the end, after it was over, I drew some cards to see what they would actually get. And the ones they came up with, there was no way they were going to get them anyway. So it really was a wash in that stuff. But success in the mission, and now they can go into the next one, which is the Crypt Basement. So they got to go back to town and go to a different crypt that they've already been to and go into the basement and try to figure out what's going on from there. That's the end of this one. They pull another victory and get closer to retirement for both of them. Stick around for the next one as we continue the route for the Seeker of Xorn.